Alright, Edem, second album, how does it feel?
It feels like yesterday. Yes, it feels like yesterday. Grinding, then onto a debut, then onto a sophomore album. Give thanks. Give thanks.
Yeah. I mean, your first album was very successful. Did that put any kind of pressure on you going into producing your second album?
Yes, a lot of pressure because I work with one of the most influential hip-hop beatmakers, Hammer of the Last Two, beat producer slash manager slash a father figure, and so it put a lot of pressure on me, especially from the angle of looking at the history of music. Nobody has been able to release two classic albums. For Michael Jackson, it was Bad, and then Thriller. So he's one of the people that released two classic albums. For that Lumba, it was his first album in Ameyaw. And so I was asking people who were around for a while, what would it take for me to do two classic albums? Because for 50, it was just Get Rich or Die Trying. For Eminem, it was Marshall Mathers. For Snoop Dogg, it was Gin and Juice. So I wanted to find a way to be able to beat the standard to it by trying to put out another classic album. So it just drove me to open up my creative scope and draw people to other areas of me that they didn't know, and put out.
So what would you say is the way you're looking for?
I'm looking at, one, I have been able, together with my team, we've been able to push people to believe that you can use any dialect to sell your music. So I'm just trying to use those same elements of success and believe that we can also once more be able to show people the way to the international scene with mass production as an album. I believe it's just the same elements. Coming from the Volta region, we had certain elements that made it to the mainstream Ghanaian market and put us on top. I'm trying to use those elements to try to sell music made in Ghana across board.
So why title mass production?
Various reasons. One, because mass production as an album is a revelation. A revelation in the sense that it's going to open people up to other areas, other spheres of Edem that they didn't get to know. On my previous album, there was no song in Jamaican patois, which is something I'm more vexed in than I do. And so on this album, I open people up to it. There are songs on the album that is just me singing back to back in Pidgin and English, which is an unusual thing that people didn't know about me. And that's one of the reasons why it's mass production. Also mass production because the previous album was entirely produced by Hammer, but this one has diverse producers. I have EL, amazing talent. Red Eye, I say he is a gem that Ghana hasn't seen yet. He produced Ghetto Rise. I have Low Shaker of Skillions. I have Sammy Black, talented producer. I have Hammer himself on there. I have Seven, and so it's a very diverse album. Genius, who produced Over Again on the album, and that's another reason why it's called mass production. So people should try to dispel any stigma of it being cheap from their mind. It has taken a lot of work. From 2009, we've been recording this album till now, just trying to use the same 2 years lifespan that we used to record a successful album to record another one.
Good. I mean, I've been watching the video for Ghetto Rise, and I mean, I'm liking it. Is it the only reggae tune on there? And also, how many songs have you got on there?
Ghetto Rise is the only reggae song that made it to the album, but there are other reggae songs that didn't make it to the album. And the album has 13 songs, featured Tiny. I decided to unveil other people who once upon a time ago I was in their shoes. I needed a platform, so I introduced Gemini, who is an English rapper. I introduced Joey B, who is a talented Pidgin artist. There's Betha of Stars of the Future on there, and it's more limited to Edem and my growth as an artist and what I can offer. So it has less appearances on there. It's awesome.
Okay, so finally, what would you tell your fans, I mean, here in Ghana and across the globe?
You guys took me on a journey of Volta regime. We're about to take off with mass production. Like I always say, and I always will say, the day I decide not to write lyrics, I decide not to put out music, I decide not to come on TV and talk about my music is the day I wouldn't accept people criticizing me. But as long as I'm still a work in progress, I appreciate all the right tabs that criticize me. It keeps me in the right direction. I appreciate you guys when you tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, this song you didn't do well, you have to step up your game. And I'm still a work in progress. Let's keep it moving. Let's push Ghana music across borders. It's going to be an awesome year, 2012. Let's go! Get up!